I know I'm a little late, Potato Raccoon, but here it is, finally. How strong was Iskandar lore-wise? Actually, if we're talking about lore-wise, he was just about as strong as his real-life version, with a few minor caveats, such as getting the bulls of Zeus, which he could not have done in real life. And that probably had some changes. However, overall, his legend and whatever he did in life is about as equal to what he did in real life. Unlike Artoria, who actually had things going on in her lore with different NPs and different stuff, Alexander is different. But here's what we know about him lore-wise. Alexander is well known for conquering the world. He fought with many enemies in many places such as Persia, India, Egypt, where he freed the Egyptians, leading to him being also known as a pharaoh by them. Due to his mother Olympias, he came to believe that he was the son of Zeus himself. He was recognized by people like Aristotle, Darius III, as they considered each other rivals. When he was young, he saw a Gordian knot, a chariot offered to Zeus by King Gordius, that he claimed as his own. Basically, he cut the bull's ropes, taking the bulls for himself and creating his own chariot, Gordius' wheel. In 10 years, he conquered all those places that I mentioned before and was buried in Babylonia, which is now modern-day Iraq. Although there are stories that he was chosen by the 12 gods of Olympus, we don't know if those are true or not because there is no evidence for it. The sword he wields is a spada named Sword of Capriotes or Kypriotes, which was gifted to him by King of Cypriots. It is basically a normal sword, as its magical energy is not on the level of a noble phantasm. Don't get me wrong, it is still a sword that can harm a servant, but it is nowhere near capable of being a noble phantasm such as Excalibur, Marmados, or something like Vasavi Shakti. Since the bulls he stole were divine bulls meant for Zeus, he also got his lightning, which is a manifestation of Zeus himself. Now in Fate, he's also called Dhul-Qarnayn, or He of the Two Horns. But there is a glaring issue with this. Dhul-Qarnayn is an Islamic figure and was said to be a monotheist. So while original scholars did believe he might have been Dhul-Qarnayn, now it is debated and not a fact by any means. Dhul-Qarnayn was a person who freed the Jews from Babylonia, and since Alexander also fit that description, he was thought to be him. But now there are others who have a higher and better chance at being Dhul-Qarnayn, such as Cyrus the Great, who also wore a helmet shaped like a ram or goat's horns, thus the moniker He of Two Horns. But that point is aside, because unless until Cyrus or someone else associated with the title of Dhul-Qarnayn comes in Fate, Alexander is technically Dhul-Qarnayn, because that is just how part of his legend works. Now we can talk about his skill. Alexander has 3 skills, 2 of which he possessed when he was alive, those being charisma and tactics. Charisma, as mentioned in my previous video, is a skill that is associated with ruling a country or nation. Iskandar's skill is ranked at A, which is typically highest popularity you can have as a human being. His words are basically hypnotic in a sense, and his people don't just follow him but worship him to a sense, and are even willing to give their own lives for him. His second skill is tactics. Now tactics is a skill that basically shows how good he is at commanding the military. It is a skill that he can boost his own anti-army noble phantasms, or when dealing with the enemy's anti-army or anti-fortress noble phantasm, can also modify modifiers on their NPs as well. His third skill is divinity, which basically is a measure of whether one has the inherent ability, talent, or aptitude of being a divine spirit, aka God. Although there is no proof of Iskandar being a demigod or son of Zeus, just the claim by him and the stories that spread through it made him have this skill. Iskandar's divinity is ranked at C. The higher the divinity, the closer that individual is being to a divine spirit, with those with A rank or higher are just short of being called gods due to the lack of a divine core. Iskandar has 2 noble phantasms. The assets that he possessed in his life became his noble phantasms. His first noble phantasm is Via Explanatio or Via Explanatio. It is an A+ rank anti-army noble phantasm, an attack which utilizes the divine bulls meant for Zeus, Gordius' wheel. It deals damage in 2 instances. One is by the hooves as seen with Lancelot, and the second is when the target is ran over by the wheels of the chariot itself. That is the physical damage, however. Notice that it has lightning. Well, it has lightning effects too. The lightning, as mentioned before, was a manifestation of Zeus himself. Thus, it had some special features. Against Saber, when this attack was used, there was roughly 100 meters between the chariot and Artoria. This distance was instantly closed down to 0 in just a blink of an eye. The chariot was right before Saber, which is why Saber had to use Excalibur. Otherwise, she was actually preparing to counterattack Iskandar's attack with a normal swing of a sword or something like that, similar to what she was going to do with Medusa. In both situations, in Fate/Stay Night, she had to use Excalibur because she had no choice. In Fate/Stay Night, it was because of Shiro, and in Fate Zero, because had she not answered with Excalibur, she basically would have been defeated. If it had been anyone besides her or Excalibur, they would have been defeated by this noble phantasm right then and there. This power, however, is only displayed when its true name is called, and the normal charges of the bull is, well, normal charge. It will still hurt like hell, but nowhere near as badly. The second noble phantasm that he got, or has, is his royal men, his army, and this is something that carried over in his reality marble. An EX rank anti-army noble phantasm which summons his army as her servants. Every person in the reality marble is a servant without a master. They have an E rank independent action skill, allowing them to be materialized for about 30 turns. Don't ask me what that means because that is just how the Fate Zero materials define it. So I don't know what the 30 turns thing is. I mean, it's not like a fucking Pokemon battle going over here, so don't ask me what's going on, okay? I'm just relaying the information as I see it. This noble phantasm is Iskandar's main noble phantasm, claimed to be as strong as Gate of Babylon due to its versatility and sheer numbers. While he shouldn't be able to use a reality marble since he is not a daemon or a mage, it is made possible because it is the actualization, a manifestation of his dream that both Iskandar and his men who pledge allegiance to him or saw even after their death. It drags the enemy into a desert-like field where there is no obstacle and boosts Iskandar's charisma skill to its max. While under normal circumstances, these men can't leave the reality marble, there are minor exceptions to this, like sending a single person outside to relay information or his horse that he can ride. There are servants in it that are stronger than Iskandar himself since they were people stronger in his army than him. He is not technically the strongest in his time, but he was the most influential and the most perfect at leading an army. As mentioned before, this noble phantasm is considered as good as Gate of Babylon, but there is one problem. All these servants inside the reality marble lack skills they would normally have. They also lack a class, and Iskandar cannot manifest their noble phantasms. So even though people like Ptolemy, Eumenes, Meternius, Hephaestion are inside of Ionioi Heteroi, they lack their abilities, and as such only provides the sheer numbers and not their noble phantasm or their skills. For example, take Hephaestion. Hephaestion usually has her own version of Gordius Wheel called the Hecatic Wheel. However, in the reality marble, Hephaestion will not possess such a thing. Since they are servants, their attacks can still work on other servants, but powerful servants can get through it. Servants like Karna, servants like Gilgamesh, and even Artoria should be able to get by it normally. However, these aren't the top of the crop servants. Someone like Sasaki or Boudica wouldn't have such a chance though. He can manifest his chariot, Gordius Wheel, inside the reality marble as well. Its true potential, however, can only be reached when it's paired with Gate of Babylon, since each servant inside of it will be given a noble phantasm from the Gate of Babylon. Iskandar can freely organize the positions of those inside the reality marble and can make a target appear at a different place than they originally were at. This effect also carries over in the real world, however, it's limited by the maximum range of 100 meters. So in the real world, he can only make these changes in about 100 meters, give or take. It is maintained by the collective magical energy of the entire army, which is why if a large chunk of his army is destroyed with a single attack, the reality marble will not remain stable and could possibly break/fail entirely. The reason why servants like Karna, Gilgamesh, or Artoria actually have a chance is because of their own noble phantasms. Karna can use Vasavi Shakti, or Brahmastra Kundala. I've pronounced many things wrong here, but you get the point. Gilgamesh can use his weapons from Gate of Babylon or simply Ea, and while the novel makes it sound like Artoria can't take him out with an Excalibur, this is probably just Urobuchi Sensei doing Urobuchi Sensei things. A straight blast from Excalibur should vaporize any projectiles coming towards Saber and should take out a considerable chunk of his army, if not most of it. She did something similar against Gilgamesh and Ea in Fate/Stay Night. But enough about her. If you want to know more about her, check out my video on how strong she is. Shameless plug aside, as mentioned before, if a huge chunk of his army is taken out, it can lead to his reality marble weakening. Now this is not to say that noble Phantasm is not strong. I'm just showing you a case where it is against insane odds and servants. It's not a bad thing. In fact, around 85 to 90% of servants, it would just be an instant win con. They would not be able to do much against it. Iskandar is also shown to be comparable to Artoria and the Gilgamesh. He also fought Altera in the Moon Cell. However, those are different things. This video is not about their feats, as I mentioned before. I also didn't show feats regarding Saber. So if you want to see like what he can do is feat-wise, or like who he fought and came out on top against, well, that's a different video. There you have it. This is how strong Iskandar is. But you know what? Because I like you a lot, I'm going to tell you about a version of him that is almost a freaking original character. Levels of, huh? So spoilers ahead for Lord Elmiloi's second case file novels. Remember that I said that he claimed to be the son of Zeus and he got his lightning as a result of it, including divinity? Well, in Lord Elmiloi case file, a ritual is carried out using his shadow and other bullshit, along with the legend of how he is the son of Zeus and was welcomed by the 12 Olympian gods. Upon his death, his shadow was turned into Iskandar and later summoned as a divine spirit, basically a god, a matter of speaking. In this form, he carried out a miracle of resurrecting which had died in a prior battle. Now this version is a very what-if version and not possible normally, but I thought it would be fun to discuss it, and I didn't want to spoil the novel Lord Elmiloi Case File 2, so if you want to know more about it, read it. And with that, we are at the end. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know who I should discuss next here. Should I go for Mordred or perhaps Vlad III? Well, Mordred is but confirmed for being the third one in this series, so it's probably safe to ask who should we discuss after her. With that being said and done, adios.